right, welcome to One Nation, a Sports Soccer Magazine Extra, and tonight we got a great program for you. I am just telling you right off the bat, sorry about my voice. I've had some scratchy throat stuff, and I was working up in an attic with no ventilation, and I wasn't wearing a mask, and I should have been, so my fault. So anyway, forgive me. I don't mean to sound like Kermit the Frog, but it may come across that way. Thanks for joining us tonight. As you see, my co-host, he's not going to be here tonight. He is going to be on some podcast talking to the Ant-Man. I don't even know what that means, but that's what he's going to be doing. It's not the Marvel character. I think it has something to do with wrestling. So he's excited about that opportunity. But we have a great lineup of guests tonight. We've got Coach Josh LINNENBRINK over at Blair Oaks. And, you're going to find out that this man doesn't just coach basketball. He does a whole bunch of other things, and we're going to let him get into all that, and we're gonna make sure that his wife is okay with all that. That's just one of the questions we're gonna ask, because that's an important one, right? Also, we've got Emma Wolken and we've got Bailey Rackers, senior and junior on the Blair Oaks Lady Falcons basketball team, and I think you're gonna really enjoy hearing from both of these two and just some of their successes and some of their future goals, things that they want to do. So, without any further ado, I'm gonna quit talking like a frog and bring them on. Hey, welcome everybody.
Welcome.
How are you guys doing?
Good.
Good?
Wonderful.
Very good.
Wonderful
All right.
the weather we have today. So.
Yeah, that was awesome. And I was sharing a little bit earlier that I was out in the sun a little bit too long yesterday without, I did two wrong things. I didn't have sunscreen right away, and I was up in a not a ventilated attic. Two things. So you would think by now I would learn from, those past mistakes. All right. Well, hey, you guys, we got a lot to talk about. I want to start with you, Coach LINNENBRINK. First of all, tell us a little bit about this last season and this group of girls. What was special and different about this team?
So, if you look at our record, we went 13-14. We, at first you may not think it was much of, not something to go crazy about, but we started out started out 4-9 through a stretch there, and then at middle of the season we went on won 10 out of our last 11 games, and so that's where we got to the 13-14, and we had some unfortunate events there at the end. Before districts even started, with some injuries and everything, but some things about these girls that just really sticks out to me is just their resiliency. One thing we always talk about is stay the course. I know things may seem bleak and not very positive at the time, but we really preach on just stay the course and good things will happen. And you saw, as winning 9 out of the last 10 games, and they did that every day. They showed up, and they one thing that we as coaches talked about with this group is that they every day had a positive attitude, smiles on their faces, and I know that probably wasn't easy to do every day, especially when you go through a losing streak early on. But I'm just we're super proud of the way they just kept going each and every day at practice, and then every game that we asked them to, they did what we asked.
Well, that's awesome, girls. He did a great job just talking about how obedient you guys were doing. I mean, never any tough times, never any, no, we don't want to, no whine and no complaining, nothing like that, right?
Oh, I didn't say that.
No.
That's awesome. That's good. Emma, why don't you go through? I mean, it didn't quite end the way that you wanted it to toward the end of the year. Why don't you go through what had happened as far as the injury and looking back now, what have you appreciated about playing basketball at Blair Oaks?
I really appreciated the coaches. I mean, they always came in every day with a great attitude and really helped us out so much in practice. And just really my teammates too. I really always enjoyed coming to practice, and they're just such great competitors, and they really made me a better player. And our parents, obviously, because we couldn't be able to do this without them. They were always our fans and cheering us on even when we might not have been doing great. But
So, Josh, you want to add to that real quick as far as just kind of Emma's work ethic and just how she approached the game?
Oh, Emma is for the last ever since she stepped into the girls basketball program, she's been one of the hardest workers that, we had our banquet the other day, and hadn't shared this with her, and I shared it with Coach Moore and some of the other coaches one day, and, I'm starting to get up there, in age. I've been around the coaches, but she is far, between, some of the football players that I've coached, and, I would put her in a category because she comes to work every day, doesn't complain, doesn't ever, bat an eye. She may say some things under her breath that I've caught a couple of times, but she's been the glue to our program just because of what she's done every day for us, and just made our jobs easier. And then, and she's a great teammate too, and she's a great ambassador. She's played softball for a long time for Blair Oaks. I had her when she was in middle school. I was able to coach her in track. And she's done it. She's just always had a great work ethic and a positive attitude. And then, one thing, I'll just talk about the season a little bit. Emma's I'm just as happy, not happy that she's graduating, but our numbers were down a little bit this year. So we only had about 13 or 14. And then with injuries, we had another a young lady that had a knee injury that was out for the year. And then we had some other injuries here and there. So I'd have to lace up the sneakers, every couple times a week. And I know Emma thought it was hard. And I can tell you after practice, I was ice bath and, wrapping the knees. But no, that was usually my task. Coach Moore would, I would have to, guard, put pressure on the guard. So, but no, she's right. She's done a great job for us, and I'm so happy that, Lincoln, is giving her a shot, and she's getting to stay, close to home. So I can't wait to see her get, healthy and get in the gym, and then what she's going to do good things over there at Lincoln.
Yeah, that'll be great. So I want to ask you real quick, as far as when you would get out there and, practice with them, I mean, did they take it easy, or did they throw an elbow here and there? I mean,
he didn't take it easy.
Oh, okay.
No, so
yeah, no.
So we always, told them, hey, if I'm, we made it difficult on them, and I would chirp at them a little bit just to get under their skin a little bit, but I told them, I said, I'm reliving the glory days, so, but no, they, these two right here would have no problem of, chirping back a little bit, and then I may catch an elbow in the gut, here and there, so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe, a little national championship. What was that she did,
Yeah, yeah, oh yeah, Angel Reese, man, that was something.
Yeah. Emma was talking about how, she just doesn't appreciate, that kind of cockiness and stuff like that. And I had to agree. We've got way too much of that going on in professional sports in college. And, these young kids coming in, they just emulate all that stuff.
Oh, yeah. Soaking in like a sponge.
Yeah. And what they need is good examples like these two girls and their coach who's out there and putting the hammer in. All right. Well, Bailey, why don't you tell us a little bit? Right now, you are involved in track, and I asked you the question as far as what events are you participating in, and right away, I knew I got that question wrong. What events are you not participating in? But you can go ahead and say which one you're participating in.
I'm mainly in the 100, 200, 4x1, 4x2, high jump. I'm pretty flexible with them. They put me in a spot, and I'm working with what I got most times. It's a good deal. Definitely not long distance. That is not my cup of tea.
I completely agree. Those people that's their cup of tea, God bless them. Bless them. Marathon
that
runners.
3,200.
Yeah, marathon runners. I'm going to drive a car. I'm just going to hop in the car and drive
it. Hey, Emma used to be distance back in middle school.
Yeah, I ran the 1,600, 4x8, 4x4. I was not good at jumps, I'm going to be honest. I was actually terrible, but I just...
That's so you were probably pretty tired after your events because all of those are long races. So,
Yeah, yeah.
all right.
I
Bailey, tell
enjoyed
us.
it though.
Yeah, it's but then you just shifted on into basketball, right?
Yeah, yeah,
And then coach was making you run really a lot there, and you thought, what?
yeah, yeah.
All right. Hey Bailey, so what was so fun about playing basketball for this team this year?
I mean, just a group of girls. Like, you're in practice, and I mean, there's no arguing, there's no fighting. Everyone's just getting along. Every girl on that floor had your back. I mean, just the grit and the work ethic everyone on that team had, like, just makes you want to show up and be there. I mean, just being a part of the team was just awesome. I mean, great surroundings. I mean, when you have leadership like Emma and Taylor, I mean, who wouldn't want to play? So,
That's right. Well, that was a very good answer, and I'm gonna just shift right into that to just keep the love going. Coach, tell us about these two girls and what are the strengths that they brought to the team.
So, Emma, kind of, I hate to, I'm not just, want to blow Emma's horn all night, but she did everything for us. She was our ball handler, um, you know, and then usually on any given night she was taking, whether the girl was 5'11", 6 foot, she was going to be stuck on that girl defensively, and then just leadership. She did a really good job of keeping this team together. Her positive attitude, her she never, even though when times seemed not very pretty, she always whether it was a show, she did a really good job of keeping a smile on her face and getting other girls to stay along, stay
Mm-hmm.
with us. So she did a really good job. And um, Bailey, uh, I told Bailey when we were having in the season meetings, I see a lot of myself or Bailey, a lot of me and Bailey, just because Bailey's like a bulldog. Bailey's not very big, but Bailey will bite you. And she's I love her aggressiveness. She's kind of I told one thing that we really need to work on is I know your facial expressions are looking like you're gonna bite. I said we got to tone that down just a little bit. I mean, you can inside. I told you you can still be ready to rip through a wall, but I said you can't look like you're gonna bite somebody every time. But no, her strength. She was another one. Bailey's not a very tall girl, but Bailey would never back down to a challenge. When Emma unfortunately had the injury, um, Bailey, took the role of guarding the other team's best player. And Bailey's just got a skill set. She's very athletic.
Mm-hmm.
You heard in her track events there, she's very quick, and she uses those strengths to her. And like I said, her bulldog mentality, she's not, just because she's, little or, people think she's little, she's going to compete with the best of them. And that's what, that's why she's able to be so successful.
Yeah, and you would say probably it's not so much the height that has to do with the heart and the desire to do the job, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, girls, how tall are both of you?
5'6".
Okay, Bailey. Shoes on.
Don't be shy.
I'm 5'2" on a good day.
All right. So you guys, I mean,
Yeah,
that's
shoes
pretty.
on.
That's pretty cool that you both are willing to step it up, and regardless of how tall the player is, and just jump right in there. You both of you probably even in a scrimmage or pickup game, if the other team had 5 and you only had 4 on your side, you guys would probably take that on and say, yeah, we're for this. Let us go at them, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool. Good. All right. Let's see. Bailey, why don't you tell us a little bit about your teammates and just some of the favorite memories that you had this past year?
So I'd probably have to say, when I think of like a teammate, I'm definitely thinking of, everyone on the team, especially our upperclassmen. I mean, I've been playing with a lot of the girls since, we were very little. So just being able to be a part of what they can bring and what they can offer. I mean, everyone, like I said earlier, has a positive attitude. I mean, you're not going to walk into a practice and not have somebody smiling. Like, somebody's always smiling in practice. I mean, they're always in your ear telling you, like, keep it up. Like, you're doing awesome. Even if you could be having the worst game ever. I mean, I'd probably have to say my favorite memory would be the celebration after beating Eldon. was a long and hard-fought game and ended up beating them by 1. I mean, it was a well-deserved celebration, so.
Yeah, those are always good. Those
Oh
are
yeah.
always good.
Oh, yeah.
Coming out on that. Emma, what's impressed you with some of your other teammates that are what you would consider leaders as well? What have you appreciated about what they bring to the game?
Well, all of our pretty much players have brought like hard work. Every day at practice, I was competing against people that were giving 100% effort every day, and it really like pushed me to be a better player, be a better teammate, and like their positive attitudes and just everything. I really enjoyed coming to practice, and that's
Okay, you said enjoyed coming to practice. So, were those times when you guys knew that you didn't quite do what you were supposed to, and you didn't really look forward to those practices?
Yeah, there was a couple of those, but I know like everybody might have been dreading it, but there was always at least one person keeping the mood up. And I gotta say, Coach LINNENBRINK, he was probably one of the best energizers at practice. He was pretty fun to guard.
Did you ever block his shot? Just saying.
Oh,
You may
I
help
don't
me. I
think
think
so.
maybe a time or two.
I mean, I think you did it. I mean, you really didn't shoot that much, though.
No.
He was more of our he was running everywhere. He was
Yeah.
he's very quick off the dribble.
He was like,
Yeah.
guard me down the paint. He was our guy like that.
Okay. Very good. Now I understand why you were a little tired after you got done, Coach. Running around everywhere. All right, Emma, one more question before we go to break. What do you appreciate about playing ball with Bailey, and what are some of the things that she did to really help you improve your game?
Bailey was just like a great overall player. Like she hit so many threes in the game when we really needed her to and really stepped up and when we needed her to, honestly. She had a lot of great steals that led us to be able to like take a lead or other things, and just overall she's a great player and always brought so much energy to the team. And I really enjoyed trying to beat her in down and backs. That was pretty fun.
That was always a competition.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, she usually beat me, I'm gonna be honest.
Down and back. So how many times up and down the court?
Depended on the
Pretty
punishment.
much all. Yeah, honestly, it was a couple of each time.
So I mean, are you literally just going down one time and then back? Is that's counting as one?
Yeah, down and back,
Okay.
or yeah.
Okay. I just want to give everybody a clear picture of that. Because there's, I think, suicides, and then there's zippers. I
Oh
mean, there's
yeah,
different names that they call all that stuff. And I'm just going to share
yeah. It
this
was
real
always a
quick.
competition.
I'm going to share this real quick.
Oh, yeah.
So when I was in high school, I think it was a freshman, and our coach, he was warning us during the game that we better give our best effort, or otherwise we're gonna regret that the next day at practice. And guys were kind of goofing around. So the next day at practice, he wasn't joking. He literally got on the microphone and pretended he was a PA announcer. He'd set 30 minutes on the clock, and we'd have to do zippers, just back and forth, back and forth.
Oh,
Free throw
gosh.
line back, midcourt back. Doing that 30 minutes straight. Then suicides, 30 minutes straight. And if you were slacking there, he made you run another 30 minutes. So I'm like coach. I was running everywhere. I was going everywhere, making sure. Then he wanted us to run 100 laps around the gym, and we had to be running. We couldn't be jogging. And my best friend
Oh my
was
gosh.
a little bit overweight, and he was getting lapped over and over. I kept lapping him over and over again. Coach hollered out, and he said, Johnson, if you don't get moving, and if DeMars passes you one more time, you're going to run another 100. DeMars, if you slow down, you're going to run another 100. I'm like, sorry, my friend. So sorry. So sorry. Love you, but so sorry. Oh, all right. So, Coach, you didn't have it. You didn't. I know you didn't have to have any of those days because these girls are probably pretty locked in most of the time.
Not nothing to that extreme, but I've experienced something not as that it's like that, but I remember some days that I've had to spend most of the practice just running,
Uh-huh.
but the girls. I think they lucked out a lot of times. Coach Moore was being a dad of two little ones. He was soft and hard,
Yeah.
Hopefully he's not watching.
Yeah. And these girls and these younger players, they don't understand what it was like in the old days. I mean, the time that you were playing and the really old days, the time that I was playing, they didn't care. They didn't care.
Yeah.
If they had to carry you off the court, they didn't care. That was it. You were going to do it. So, with that in mind, we're going to take a break. We're going to end on a positive note. So, we'll be right back. You guys are doing a great job.
The days or shifts you work each week? You can. At CNS Business Services, they're adapting to the way people want to work. CNS is working with area employers, establishing new, innovative ways to work with flexible schedules. Flexible scheduling is designed to find employment that suits your lifestyle. Whether you're a student, a retiree, or need extra income, flexible scheduling at CNS allows you to decide when you work. Call CNS. Your schedule, you're in control. CNS Business Services.
Say yes to CNS.
CNS Business Services, my friend Paula Benny and all of her team out there, they do a great job making sure that everybody has the ability to find a job right here in mid-Missouri. They work with the employers. They have all sorts of different opportunities. So we appreciate that they're our sponsor for this program so we can bring on great guests like you guys. Been a fun interview so far. And now we're going to let you girls talk about the coaches. So here we go. And remember, Bailey, you've got another year, so you might want to be careful, okay? Why don't you start off and tell us about your coaches and starting with Coach LINNENBRINK. What have you learned from them, and how's that going to help you moving forward?
I mean, Coach LINNENBRINK, he applies so much passion. I mean, you could just see the passion in everything he does. Definitely going to be carrying that with me, finding the heart, using it, applying it. I mean, he's in the gym working just as hard as us most days. He's always preparing us for teams. I mean, he's always there. And I mean, which brings me to Coach Vic. He's out there working with Coach LINNENBRINK too. I mean, he's working hard. He takes it to our bigs mainly. He's probably our, I'd say, tallest coach. But he's preparing our bigs. He helped our bigs a lot this past season, finishing through the hands. I mean, I give a lot of kudos to him because if it weren't for his long arms and hands in our bigs' face at practice, I mean, there'd have been some tough shots. So I definitely give kudos to him for that. So I'd say Coach Moore, I mean, when numbers were getting really small, he was also out there lacing up. I mean, putting in the effort, always doing something. So that was good. And then Coach Bull, I would say she's probably the glue of the team. I mean, she's your best friend and she's one egg of a coach. I mean, give it to her. In our district game, I was so frustrated. I just wanted to push and everything. And she looked at me in the eye and she said, "We ain't doing this. We're not doing this today." And I was like, "All right, you got it." She's your go-to. You need advice on basketball. You need advice on life. I mean, she is that girl. So, I mean, all the coaches have taught me, carry everything with passion, have a heart. I mean, put in the extra effort where extra effort is needed. So, get in the gym when you can. 6 a.m. practice, be there at 5 a.m., get those extra shots up. I mean, gym was getting opened at 5 a.m. if you wanted those shots. So, do give kudos to all my coaches. So, they're all awesome.
Yeah, well, that was a great answer, and we want to give a quick shout out to Coach Bull because she's the one that helped get me connected to all you guys, and got everything set up and got all the questions to you that we changed like I think 3 or 4 times, and so we we finally got it set down. Yeah, it was good, but I appreciate the work that she did, and I'm gonna bring up Coach Vic real quick. I had played church league basketball with him, so here was my strategy. Pass him the ball. That was my strategy.
Yeah.
Just pass him the ball
Yeah.
and get out of the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Emma, your turn. Why don't you talk about your coaches and share how they've helped you as far as getting prepared for the next level?
Coach LINNENBRINK, he was the one I mostly guarded in practice when Coach Moore wasn't playing, and he always really did what other players were doing, which really helped me be able to guard them in practice, and always brought so much energy. And I always just loved guarding him because he was kind of hard to guard. I'm going to be honest. He was always so fast. And then Coach Moore, he took so much time out of his life to help us as a player. And I've had him as a coach since my freshman year. And, he's fixed my shot. He's fixed so much stuff in the game of basketball for me, which I'm going to take to the next level with me and really help me in the future. And Coach Fick, he always was willing to come in before practice, like Bailey said, and open the gym at 5 a.m. so that we could get in before practice, or stay after practice if we needed to get extra shots in. And he was just always there for us if we needed it.
Mm-hmm.
And Coach Bull, she's the only girl coach, so as you can tell, she probably got most of the drama of the team. But with that, she always knew how to deal with the problems, and she threw the best parties. I'm gonna be honest. They were always so festive, and I always had so much fun, and they're such great ideas. But in general, all the coaches have really shaped me into the player I am today. By guarding them, I went from being a good player to a great player, and they just helped me in so many ways that I won't be able to explain them all. And then some things that I learned from them is they taught me to stay to the day-to-day things and really just put in the extra work and never give up, because when you give up, then there's no going back.
Very good. I was just going to tell Coach LINNENBRINK, this is something that will be on the internet forever. So, all these nice things that the girls are saying about you can just put that right up there.
I'm having a bad day.
Very good. That would just lift you up and say, well, they said this about me once. Yeah. Awesome.
I'm going to hold it over their heads.
That's great. Bailey, why don't you share some of your favorite moments that you had with coaches? I mean, some of those really fun moments.
I'd have to say practice. I mean, practices were great. I mean, they're keeping you on your toes, always making you laugh. Like Coach LINNENBRINK said, maybe talking a little smack here and there, but nothing we couldn't handle. I mean, when Coach Fick came down the floor, you knew to move, though. You just gotta move out of his way, let him take it. I would have to go back to the Eldon moment, though. That was probably, all the coaches, they're in there. I won't share what happened, but it was fun. All the coaches.
A lot of water being thrown around everywhere.
They're always fun. You're.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. So, Coach, why don't you share a little bit about the coaching staff and what you guys were able to accomplish with these girls, and kind of what you're looking forward to building upon with the younger ladies coming in?
I can't, start without by saying thanks to, Brandon Moore. He's the reason why I got into, coaching girls basketball. And even take it a step further, Coach Heckman, who was the previous coach before Brandon, but they were already a core, and they brought me in, and I can't thank them enough. Brandon has been one of my best friends since I was a little kid. And it goes on. Some of the things we like to talk about is beyond basketball. I was at Brandon's wedding, and he was in my wedding. So just those relationships are going to take forever with you. But I can't. Me and him. With me and Brandon. Brandon's so. He's one of the best basketball minds that I've been around, and one of the best basketball players that I've been around. Brandon's very soft-spoken, So Brandon, we became a relationship where he allowed me. I was the one that would, I wasn't afraid to get after him a little bit, and he would, when it was my turn, when he needed me to, sit down, and he had no problem telling me to do so. And then, Coach Fick, his first year. But, I've seen, Tim since he was been a little kid, grow up, and just to see him, that it was exciting when Coach Moore texted me this summer and said that, hey, what do you think about Tim? And I said, I think that'd be wonderful, because I know he knows the game of basketball. If you know Ryan, Coach Fick, older Coach Fick, there's a lot of the same qualities and passion there with the game of basketball, and I thought that would be wonderful for our program. And he did a great job for us. He did he did practice quite a bit with the girls. He was if you want to talk about you better keep your head on a swivel. It was Coach Fick. I was the nice one. Coach Fick was
Yeah.
ready to hammer it down on some of the girls. So but no, he did it. I was so happy for him to be a part of our program, and he did a great job with learning. Even though he knows a lot of basketball, he's grown up around basketball. He was willing to hear what Coach Moore had to say, hear what I had to say, and Coach Bull. And then that leads me on to Coach Bull. She is the mother of the basketball team. She is the real Kevin Durant said the real MVP. It'd be Coach Bull, man. She keeps all us three, me, Coach Moore, and Tim. She keeps us in check. She has everything usually planned out for us. She does so much for the girls, and they see it. But she's the one that has no problem telling the girls. Usually we have what we call coming to heart meeting, early in the season, just to hash if there is issues, let's hash it all out. And Coach Bull is usually the one that runs it, and she's the one that usually gives us the feedback. So how we can help the girls. And then she does a really good job with her input of being a coach. She cares as much as about these girls as any of us, and she knows just as much as basketball as any of us. And she's Coach Moore and Coach Bull had to give them props because they have families. They have Coach Moore's got two little boys, and Coach Bull has a daughter in college. She's got a boy in sixth and fourth, and then little Lake. She's if you want to throw in another coach, it's Coach Lake. She's been there. She was there with us for 27 of the 27 games that we played, and she was our biggest cheerleader. So I can't go without giving her a shout out. As far as continue the program, I hope I'm able to stick around. I hope I'm can be a part of it. I hope Coach Fick can be a part of it. I know Coach Bull. I hope she can be a part of it because those three are those two, and I think we do some good things. And I'm excited. I want girls to be excited about basketball. I was lucky. I played football, basketball, and baseball in high school. So I'm a big sports guy. So I'm a big proponent of people getting out and playing three sports. I want kids to do as much as they can because one thing we like to preach is you're only a kid once. And live and have these moments with your friends. But big things. Try to sell that basketball is exciting. Basketball is fun. It is hard. It is hard work. It's tough. But I think there's some really good athletes walking around Blair Oaks, and I think that we got some really nice pieces that I hope that just keep continuing to go forward and they want to play.
Right.
Just give it a try. That's all I say.
Very good. We're going to say this for Coach Bull as well. She might want to remember that this is recorded and all those nice things you said about her. You guys, all that right there. And then I have to make a quick correction. I had the wrong Fick. I was thinking Coach Ryan Fick. And Tim's probably thinking, I don't even know what he's talking about. So it was not Tim Fick. It was Ryan Fick. So just had to make a correction.
Yeah, we had Coach Little, not Little, but we had Tim. He helped out this year. It was his first year.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure he would have dominated too. So I just would have left it. It's the right answer, but the wrong person. So, all right, Bailey, what's been so special about playing at Blair Oaks and the fan support there?
So, playing at Blair Oaks is in my blood. My grandpa played basketball and baseball as well as my dad. My aunt also played basketball, softball, and volleyball. So, being able to follow in those footsteps has just meant the world to me. Seeing the smile on their faces when they watch me play just, continues to push me. Being able to have them, my mom, my sister, and my other aunt cousins as my fan base has been everything, and I really couldn't ask for anything better or anything more.
Very good, and I'm sure they're looking forward to a lot more going into next year as well. Um, Emma, same question for you. I'm just going to ask you that. What have you appreciated in that fan support?
Fan support, I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna give a big shout out to Chesney Lubrink's parents because they were always the first one at the games, and they were always right behind our bus or even beating us there sometimes. But
Were they
our
were they
student
the
section,
loudest? Were they the
uh,
loudest? Maybe.
maybe not the loudest.
Okay.
We didn't have a lot of loud cheers, but our student section wasn't always that big. But when they did come, they did really support us and helped us a lot because if you've ever played in a gym with no fans, it's not fun.
Right.
So
Right.
a lot of the cheering, it really just like amplified our how we played, really.
Very good. Uh, Coach, tell everybody about what you do outside of basketball and other sports that you coach. And I found it interesting that in football, you were the only carryover, correct, from the coaching staff?
Yes, yes. So, for on a daily basis, I get to work with special needs kids every day. So I'm a para at Blair Oaks. I start my day in the middle school. So we have a home room is what we call it, but there's a bunch of different ages in there from anywhere from 6 years old, or not 6 years old, 10 years old to a senior in high school. And it just, it's really, it's the what makes my day every day. It's always on your toes, and it's really eye opening. Just just working every day with those great young kids, and I've learned so much, and I get humbled every day. But it's been an awesome thing for me. And then before basketball, I get to coach football. So I'm blessed, Coach LePage. I was the only carryover, and Coach LePage, I was lucky enough that he gave me an opportunity to stay and be a part of the program. And I've been here. I graduated from Blair Oaks in 2010, and unfortunately they haven't got rid of me yet. So I've been here since I've graduated high school. I started helping right out of high school of football, and then I really got serious about coaching in about 2013 or 14 with football. Probably 13, I think. So, and I've been here ever since, and once football's done, I get hop right in with these girls at basketball, and we hit the ground running, and it's all the way till March, and I get a little bit of break, but I still got weight room duty with football in the mornings that I work every Thursday, and then just one stop waiting for the next one to start back up, so we're ready to get going in football again. And then hopefully we'll see what happens with girls basketball here. Would like to get some of the girls in here in the next month or two to start getting them get some shots up here and there, do some little things, nothing crazy, but get ready to get going on that again hopefully. So yeah, I'm busy schedule, but I enjoy it. I'm not a person that likes sitting around. My wife, it's usually on Saturdays and it's about 11 o'clock and I'm walking around the house and she says you're getting stir crazy already. And I always want to be doing something, so I know it's just all been in my DNA, to always find something to do. So I'm usually, you can either find me at Blair Oaks or a Blair Oaks sporting event or at home with sports on.
All right. Awesome. I want to quickly share. We had our fan of the issue, Amanda Hinkie.
Oh yeah, Miss Amanda.
Yeah, I thought you probably have some good memories with her.
Oh yeah, I can't go every home football game she sees me. We're taking that picture.
All right.
We're holding up the number ones, and usually I'll get a text, tell her, give me a good luck, and tell the players good luck. Yeah, I've known Amanda for a long time, and she's a wonderful human being, and she's a great ambassador for Blair Oaks. There's not a, I always think that I'm the most heartbroken when Blair Oaks loses, but I would, when something doesn't go our way, Miss Amanda's there to pick us up, and she's just as hurt as us. And she's awesome. That's all. Like I said, I've known her for a long time, and she's great, and she's always been a awesome supporter.
Well, good. I do want to quickly give you the opportunity to talk about how important it's been for your wife to support what you're doing. And I mean, a lot of people do not understand how much time you guys put in and what kind of a sacrifice that is for your family.
So yeah, she's been great. She had a brother that she graduated from Blair Oaks, but she had a brother who graduated shoot 7 years ago from Blair Oaks that played football and played basketball, and she knows that she loves her football, and she loves basketball. So that helps out a lot. It's not just any, because I always ask her if she wants to watch sit down and watch a NFL game with me, or a basketball game or something of that nature, and she'll give me a dirty look, and I'd be like, "What? You say you like watching these things?" But she's like, "Well, it's not Blair Oaks, so she doesn't care." So as long as it's anything Blair Oaks, she's all in. But she's been great, because we do not have any kids, but we have a 90-pound 5-year-old German Shepherd that can be in loads of work sometimes, and and she's a busy woman too. She a couple years ago worked for the governor, and and now she is working for SEMA, so her life is very busy. So for her to allow me to do this and be gone and allow me to impact or try to impact young kids' lives, I can't thank her enough. And the support that she doesn't miss many games.
Very good. Well, Miss LINNENBRINK, that's recorded for you as well. That's great.
Yeah, I'll definitely have to play that one for her.
That's great. All right. Hey, this has been great. We're going to finish up with one more question for each of you, because we've pretty much hit our time. But I want to ask you, Emma. We've heard what your plans are. You're going to be going to Lincoln, but in the meantime, I mean, you've got to get yourself back healthy. What's happening with all that?
So on February 16th, I tore my ACL playing California in the last 3 minutes or 3 seconds of the third quarter. And I was pretty upset about it at the beginning, because it wasn't what I was expecting to happen to my senior year. But after I realized that, I have to get fixed, and if I want to continue to play, then it definitely has to be fixed right away so that I can make it to when their seasons, or when Lincoln's season starts. But now I'm in recovery. I got my surgery March 9th, so I'm about to hit 4 weeks. And I've been going to PT twice a week, and that's just really about it. I'm making strides forward.
Hey, you're moving faster every day in the hallway.
Oh, yeah, almost.
That's good. Talk about that real quick. People think as far as physical therapy, that might not be too difficult, but from what I understand, it's really, I mean, it's a lot more difficult than you getting out there and getting to do the stuff that you love, right?
Yeah. Well, the worst thing is right now is I really can't do anything myself. So when I go to PT, I get so frustrated because the things I used to be able to do, I can't do anymore. Like, I just now was able to do a leg raise, so that kind of stinks, but it's just frustrating knowing that I can do so much more, but it's just like my body won't like allow me to do it right now. So, but I'm working to get better.
That's great. Thank you so much. And I'm going to finish with Bailey, and then I'll ask Coach one more question. Bailey, so what are you looking forward to going into your senior campaign?
So with Emma going out, that means, we got big shoes to fill on the team. So, I'm looking forward to that challenge of taking on a role. As a team, we're going to have a lot to do, a lot of work cut out for us, but I'm pretty positive we're going to be able to do it. And, I see myself coming as a better offensive and defensive player all around. So I'm looking forward to put in the extra work this summer and getting ready for that season.
Awesome. Coach, what do you appreciate about the fan support at Blair Oaks?
I've been, probably a little spoiled my whole life, because, that's all I've ever known. Obviously I get to go to other places and, and get to see others, but, fan support's been great. The one constant, it may be a little rough because we only played, I think I counted, we had 5 or 6 home games this year. It wasn't many. So, a lot of the students, I get it, have things going on, homework, maybe playing another sport while we, boys may have a, practice that gets out late and, things like that. But one constant has always been the parents,
Mm-hmm.
and they show up game in and game out and support these girls. And, not just girls basketball, but they do it for girls softball. They do it for, I was running the other day and I could see across the, street, the soccer, how it's,
Mm-hmm.
fans, showing up to support them, and, whether it's, baseball or football or basketball, it's always been really, really good. And it's, probably a little bit spoiled, like I said, but it's been great, and I appreciate them, and them coming up, because, not everywhere has that, unfortunately, and not everybody has, parents are coming to watch their, their kids or anything like that. So I'm very, very thankful for them to show up and support their kids. And, as much as, sometimes I can promise you we don't make the right decision all the time as coaches, but, they've always been very supportive of us and always have, had the best interest in, us and in their kids as well.
Very, very good. I want to quickly address this question. Melanie Morton Porter, she asked what she missed your plans for next year, Emma. So she's going to be a Blue Tiger, Melanie. So she's going to be close. So you get to go see her. I mean, it's not like you're not busy with all the kids that you have and you're going around looking, but she's going to be a Blue Tiger. So we're excited about that. You guys have done a fantastic job. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. If you'll just hold on for just a second as I close out the program. I just want to quickly say goodbye after that, but thanks. You guys did an outstanding job. Very good.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, you guys, you've been watching One Nation of Sports Soccer Magazine Extra. I've had a great program tonight with some amazing guests. We've had Emma Wolken, we've had Bailey Reckers, and then Coach Josh LINNENBRINK, and then me with the Frog's voice tonight. So thanks for joining us. Next week we'll be on with another program with some other great guests to have on here, and we'll get to have some more fun. With that, thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week. God bless you.